Welcome back to another episode of Insider Sessions, where we go beyond the brochure and hear real firsthand experiences from the advisors who've actually been there. Today, I'm joined by Missy Skoog, luxury travel advisor with Travel Leaders Market Square, who recently sailed the Rhine and Moselle aboard the Emerald Luna, and we're going to break down what really stood out and who this experience is perfect for, and a few surprises along the way. Missy, so great to have you. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So before we sail in, just to level set, this sailing was aboard Emerald Cruises Starship Luna, a newer vessel launched in 2022, carrying around 180 guests. It really sits in that premium luxury space, modern, intimate, and nicely inclusive. So it's a great balance of experience and value. Excited to hear your take. Let's sail in.
Yes. Go ahead.
Let's start with the onboard experience. You've sailed before, so I'm curious. What stood out to you about the ship experience on Emerald Luna compared to other cruises you've done?
Yeah. I've had the opportunity to sail with Viking, Avalon, Uniworld, and a few others. What I loved about this ship first when you walked in, it had this ultra luxury boutique, large lobby area with these two globe spheres that were all lit up. So it was kind of like a luxury boutique experience when you first walk in, that wow feeling when you walk into a nice, beautiful hotel. This cruise ship gave me that when I first walked into the lobby. So that was unique to the other lines that they don't use their lobby it's just like an entry point, but that was, gave me that first point of like, okay, what is this? The other things that I loved about this ship as we walked through that were surprising. First of all, the lounge area was beautiful. It has a huge bar. Then toward the back of the ship, because as you river cruise, you know that they can't build taller than a bridge or wider than a cruise lock. So they have to make it interesting with the front and the back of the ship. So in the back of this specific boat, they had an actual swimming pool that was indoors, and it had a very spa-ish feel to it. Kind of even the temperature went with it too, but the pool was deep, so you could do laps if you wanted to. But it had windows all the way around it, and the top roof was kind of a revolving roof. So it would open in the summertime to enjoy those temperatures. And then during maybe Christmas markets, you would have this experience, something that's warm and cozy in the back of the boat to enjoy. Then in the evening time, they use the space still. So they'll cover that swimming pool with a hard floor, and they make it into a movie theater. So they have popcorn and they're using that space for two different times during the day. So I loved that. Also down below, like down the spiral staircase down below, there was a spa experience with massages. And then they had a really modern gym with modern equipment and hardwood floors. It was really clean and very nice. In kind of as you make your way back forward to the front of the ship, the dining room had, like, it's all glass all the way around it, but they used the glassware to enhance the experience. Like they had teal glasses, which made the light reflection. It was just kind of a little bit of a wow factor. I thought that was fantastic. Also, in our cabins, we stayed in a panorama balcony. I was very impressed with the cabin itself. Had a lot of storage space. It had a full counter. So down below you had space to put things in, a full counter to put things on, like marble counter that went all the way across one side of the cabin. And then they had shelves on the top level, which I'm a terrible packer, so my suitcase explodes in the cabin. So there's plenty of space for me to put my things without it, and then still feel like home, and the cabin was still clean. Also, they have a space that where the balcony is the balcony window-ish is located. What do we call that? But it has a window that goes down. You push the button and the window goes down. So you have the full fresh air experience.
It's in like an infinity balcony. So the balcony is built inside your room, and it's floor to ceiling window, and you touch of a button, like you said, just the top half of that window drops to the bottom half. So it's an all weather balcony. So you can enjoy it when it's raining and it's cold or it's hot, and you don't have to actually step outside into a balcony.
It was like we would sit and watch a movie and watch the, other ships go by, and we had the window all the way down, and it was just, it was really nice. And so the cabins, also the other unique thing about this line was the entryway into the bathroom was kind of on the side of the wall instead of right next to the door when you first walk in, which it made the space for the bathroom a little bit larger. They had tons of space for, I think they had a dual mirror that you could put things on. So there was space to get yourself comfortable.
A lot of shelving and a lot of just great use of space for, like you said, for your luggage. You can hide under the bed, all the shelving for storage. And like you said, like, especially when you are traveling and you're bringing stuff for an extended period of time for 8+ days, you may need a few extra things. So to have that extra storage is so important. And I think that is definitely one of the unique things that our ships have and deliver on, is that extra comfortable space that we built into those rooms.
Yeah. And so the pool was really interesting, but kind of as those other things that other advisors are looking for. The excursions in the morning, you have still your morning walking tour, and then the afternoon, the excursions are not included. They also have a drink package you can add to enhance your experience on board, which I'll tell you about in a bit.
Yeah. So let's move on. So what do you think about this itinerary, the Rhine and Moselle, and what do you see? What type of client do you feel would absolutely love this experience?
Yeah. So I would say like this cruise line seemed kind of active, which I liked. So I would say 50 and older, and actually maybe even late 40s would enjoy this. The Rhine and Moselle was, castles and vineyards, and kind of more as we got on the Moselle, it was more like steep vineyards. But the towns were quaint little German villages. I would say those that like also to bike, Scenic and Emerald both have e-bikes on board. So they had a lot of the excursions you could take if you wanted to be more active adventure. So I think anybody that wants to just enjoy the scenery, because there was lots of moments of just kind of taking in how the locals are living along the rivers, and wine, right? Who doesn't love wine and beer? Because Germany, every village you go to, they're competing against, we have the best beer. So yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that is a great way to frame it. It is definitely active focus, wine focus, beer focus, culinary, history, all blends in through the Rhine and Moselle. So looking back on the full journey, was there anything about the experience that truly exceeded your expectations?
Yeah. The staff on board was excellent. I've not been on a cruise line where they've allowed the staff to be part of kind of the entertainment in the evening. So our cruise director and the activity director were both former actors. So not only were they very theatrical and great dancers, but some evenings we had a dance off where they had this game show where you choose the song that you think people would go on the dance floor, and then you would go on the dance floor and kind of recruit other people. So it was a great bonding experience. Like we went from just hanging out in a lobby, if you're not social, to now you're on the dance floor with a bunch of people that now they're your new friends. Of course, like there's my crazy. We did this Bad Bunny impersonation from the Super Bowl, and I was holding my plant. So anyway, then they also had the staff was allowed to do these line dances. So even like the wine the wine guy and the chef, everybody was dancing and part of the experience. So I thought that was super fun. And I hadn't seen that on other lines. So that I love that.
Yeah, the crew definitely is the heartbeat of, and when they are interactive and when they are involved and in just creating that extra experience, it just goes a long way.
Mhm.
So let's wrap up with a quick hit. Did you have a favorite stop or something that surprised you?
Yeah, I mean, we stopped in Dusseldorf. I wasn't sure what to expect of I was familiar with it was kind of like architecturally, but I didn't know like to the extent of, buildings that have that doesn't make sense how they make like spiral buildings um so anyway, there was a part of Dusseldorf that's all architecture, and then there's also the main part of the city, the Alstead, which is old historical. Like they have a mile-long bar, but it's really like 300 and some odd restaurants and bars kind of combined in the same area. So if you like nightlife and you like bars and trying their local beers, that was a great spot to go. But it had a lot of history there too, from like way back to Napoleon. And it's just a great kind of a mix of both worlds of both modern and history in the same stop. So I was surprisingly, I enjoyed my stop there. So yeah.
That's great. Yeah, every stop and is just, I believe, has a little moment like that that delivers a surprise and delight because you're going through these small little towns. They're quaint, they're interesting, they're unique. They all have even if you're in Germany and you stop in 5 different places in Germany, they're all different. They all have their unique dialect of, what their culture is in that area. So Missy, this was fantastic. Thank you for sharing your experience and perspective. And for those listening, hopefully this gives you a clearer picture of how to position Emerald Luna and the Rhine and Moselle experience for your clients, or maybe even inspires your own trip. If you want to learn more, connect with Missy or your preferred travel advisor. Thanks again for tuning in to the Insider Sessions. We will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.